Hi friends, welcome back to our little cottage here on the river in the far north of Idaho. So in this video you're going to see me making my recipe for a plum cobbler. And as I've mentioned in a previous video, we have had an absolute abundance of plums this year, and so I have been figuring out ways to use them up. I made a plum jam. I also made a raspberry plum jam with raspberries from my dad, and then of course with our plums, and that turned out absolutely wonderful. So if you ever have a chance to make a raspberry plum jam, I highly recommend it. And then I'm also, of course, making this plum cobbler. And then I also took a bunch of the plums and sliced them up and dried them in the dehydrator so that we can have them as snacks or take them on hikes this coming fall. So this video is a little bit shorter than usual. I'm not going to actually walk through the recipe like I usually do, but you'll be able to find the full recipe for my plum cobbler over on my blog, homespunannie.com, and I will also have it linked in the description box below. But I'm just finding as summer is starting to wind down, I am starting to find some fresh inspiration for some videos here on YouTube, and so I actually have 2 other videos in the works right now that I will be posting in the next few weeks. So, yeah, be watching for those. As I've mentioned before, typically July and August, I tend to slow down a bit when it comes to blogging and making YouTube videos. And I think that that's actually a really good thing because that actually helps me to kind of, I don't know, just it just kind of is a little bit of a reset. And then I find that once summer starts to wind down and we head into fall, I get fresh inspiration for content. And so that is definitely what is happening now. Summer, of course, is still here. We are going to be in the 90s all this week. So definitely still summertime. But there are subtle hints that summer is starting to wind down. And one of them that I notice every year around this time is that the little sandpipers that come to our beach here on the river are no longer here. So they arrive, I want to say, early June, and they stick around until about the end of July. And you'll start, and they make this really sweet little chirping song all summer long from about June to August. And of course, I love to find their little nest that they hide everywhere down in the grass along the river and just in little spots along the shoreline. And then, of course, when their eggs hatch, they're just these adorable little puff balls with 2 little legs that run around on the beach. And yeah, I absolutely love when the sandpipers come in the summertime. And because it's like when they arrive, that means summer is here. And then once they head back to wherever it is they go during the winter time, you know that summer is starting to wind down. So that is one sign that summer is starting to wind down here on the river. Also, you start to notice that, oh, it's getting dark now at 8 o'clock instead of 9:30. And it's one of those things you kind of, it's very subtle until all of a sudden you notice it. And so starting to notice that about 8 o'clock, is dusk at this point. And so the days are starting to shorten. It's still dark now. Typically in the middle of summer, or not the middle of summer, but the beginning of summer, the sun will start to come up. You'll start to notice it at 4 or 4:30 in the morning. And now at about 5 or 5:30 is when you can start to see the sun come up. So definitely a shift. The days are starting to shorten And yeah, so we are definitely savoring these last precious few weeks of summer. So I hope you guys are enjoying this last little bit of summer that we have. And I really hope that you enjoyed this little video. Be watching for a lot more content coming up in the next few weeks as we head into fall. So also, as always, you can head on over to my blog, homesbyannie.com, to find all of my recipes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Share with someone else you think would enjoy it. And I will talk to you guys in the next video.